up, folks? Cocktails, Films, and Fight here with MMA fighter, color commentator, Kevin Widdoes.
Yes, sir. Good to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm stoked you're here.
It's been too long, man.
Yeah,
The
most definitely.
Last time we shared a cocktail together, I was thinking about this, was probably Widdoes roast,
Yes.
2012.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
4 years.
And that was a little bit of a raucous night.
Oh, started out good, ended a little crazy, but we won't roast Uday anymore.
This is what, speaking of cocktails, do you know, well, let me finish. Uday is now a father.
I know.
Yeah, huh?
I see this kid on Instagram. The kid's adorable.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
happy for him. They seem happy.
Yeah, he seems very motivated. And,
Yeah.
he's a fired up guy, so I expect this kid will be a fired up
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be training before too long.
Yeah, most definitely. But look what I got here. You like Grey Goose, huh?
Of course.
Excellent. I have Grey Goose L'orange.
It'll work.
Yeah, it's French for orange
Yeah,
infused,
okay.
you know?
I don't care what flavor it is. If it's vodka, I'm drinking it.
Yeah, spoken like a true drinker.
True Irishman.
Yeah. And it's funny because Grey Goose, you know, it's French, but, you know, it's not called like Gris Goose,
Right.
you know? It's, but they added L'orange, which is kind of peculiar.
They probably don't even drink this in France.
It's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's like how Mexicans don't drink Corona.
Right, uh-huh.
Yeah, this is probably like the McDonald's of vodkas in France.
I think, I mean, it's quality vodka here.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
You like it,
Yeah,
right?
I usually go this or Kettle One.
Kettle One is
if
good,
I'm
too.
willing to spend the money for it. You know,
Yes.
if I'm not drinking the real vodka, I usually go with this or Kettle.
Yeah, same thing. And often in bars, I just say, hey, well me. You know?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna mix it with juice or something, you really can't tell the difference.
Not really. But right now, we're going to go with something, I have this, the Grey Goose L'orange, and people, I try to mix it at first with your standards, vodka tonics and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting a lot of like the old Reese's peanut butter commercials. Your peanut butter's in my chocolate, your fucking orange is in my vodka. so I was like, all right, what's a good drink? So I looked it up on the Grey Goose site actually, and they provided one called the Backstage.
Nice.
Yes. So we'll start off with this. It's going, actually, we're going to start off with a little ice.
All right. I like the ingredients I see, so I'm sure it's gonna taste lovely.
Yeah, hopefully, you know. We'll see how my mixology skills are.
It'll be hard to mess this one up.
Yeah, if I do, we'll be passing this bottle around.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you and I will drink it regardless. I've never been known to turn down a cocktail.
Well, that's because you're a gentleman.
That's right.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go with 2 1/4 for each of these. So that's boom,
Very nice.
bam, and bam, and that's 2 2 2.
Yeah.
We'll give a little smidgen more. Boom, and then we're gonna move along to 1 3/4 of just good old grapefruit juice.
All right.
Yeah. So for here, we're gonna go. Let's go. Give it ones. Boom,
All right.
and then we'll go.
I used to hate using those things when I bartended.
Oh yeah.
They made us do it.
You
You know, to cut down on cost, you know, to measure out all the booze. But when you got too busy, we used to just free pour, but then we'd get in trouble. But those things are a nightmare to use when you're busy.
Oh, I imagine they are. What's your count for pours? For
3.
3?
Yeah, I mean,
1, 2, 3.
for a normal cocktail.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna go a little taller, we do 5.
Okay.
But 3, I felt 3 would get me to where I needed to be in here in the jigger, is what they called it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where'd you bartend?
It was back home where I'm from, Delaware. I bartended at an Applebee's of all places.
You bartended Applebee's.
Yeah, which was
Dude.
not only bartending, it was like running a Dairy Queen, because we made all the frozen stuff behind the bar, like all the kids' ice cream dishes, all the frozen drinks like mudslides.
Oh my God.
Frozen margaritas, all that stuff. It was a nightmare. Plus we packaged up all the to-go food. We answered phones. I mean, it was it was insanity.
Did you ever bartend in a traditional just drinker's bar?
No, but I did wait tables at an Irish pub, and I bar back there too. So
Irish pub.
yeah, back home.
There's some credentials for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good times.
So right now, what I'm putting in, I've got simple syrup.
Yep.
And then that was Cointreau. We put one of each in
Okay.
Cointreau. So here, give this a little shake. Ba-bam, ba-bam. And this is filled with ice.
All right.
Yeah.
Get it nice and chilly.
Nice and chilled. Get this out of the way.
Okay.
Ba-bam, ba-bam. And here you are, my man.
Voila.
Voila. And you know what? Here, let's go with a lemon wedge.
What about no ginger? There's no ginger ale in it?
You know what? That is a very good call.
That was part of it?
Yes, a little splash.
I
a
saw
little
it sitting
splash.
there, but I couldn't remember what the ingredients.
Well, you know,
Top it off
remember
a little-
better than me.
With a little bubbly.
A little bubbly, so bam.
That's
Good.
Yeah.
And bam. Feel
Lemon
free to-
wedge?
Lemon wedge, yes. If you want a little stir.
Squeeze a little lemon juice in there.
Dude, hell yeah. Savor the citrus.
That's right. I'm pretty sure this is going to be fantastic.
I hope so. You know, if you start coughing and
Then you'll know it's good.
yes, you're not a good guy to piss off. So
Hear, hear.
cheers.
Good to see you, brother.
Good seeing you.
You like it? Yeah. It's got some bite to it.
A little bit.
I feel like the grapefruit juice gives it a bite, mixing with that orange vodka. It's got like kick to it, you know.
Definitely, definitely. You feel the little vodka sharpness.
Yeah, it's not like it's as smooth as like a vodka OJ would be,
No.
and not in a bad way.
Right.
But you know how like a vodka OJ goes down relatively smoothly,
Yeah.
even when it's strong.
Sure.
But I feel like the grapefruit in this is mixing with the orange in the vodka, and it gives it like a unique kind of kick to it.
I'd agree.
But it's not too sweet. I feel like I could have a few of these, you know?
Yes.
Sometimes you get a mixed drink and you're like, oh, I can only have one of those. It's too much sugar. It's too
Oh,
sweet.
big time. You're like, here comes the hangover, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Okay. I think I like this as well. I think this would be good. You know what? I'm feeling it a good brunch drink actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or even a hangover drink.
There you go.
Yeah, you go in on a Sunday for like Eggs Benedict and toss a couple of these down and be right back in the saddle.
Yeah. An eggs Benedict with a side of Backstage.
Good call, man. I like it.
Well, thank you. You know, yeah, it's a little bit like sea breeze, stuff like that in the morning. But sea breeze, the only thing bad about a sea breeze, if you're not at a wedding, it's tough to order that if you're a dude because they often look pink, you know. But,
Yeah. And I like fruity drinks too, but you kind of know your surroundings. Like, can I get away with
yes,
like a blue Hawaiian here? You know.
indeed. I've pulled this up before. You ever been on a date and you look at the card, their concoctions?
Yes.
And you'll see something that's, you know, it'll have like a brown liquor and you don't know what the hell they are, but they're, you know, she's like, look, cocktails. And you're
Right.
like, all right, well, get them.
Yeah.
They hand you the like fruity umbrella thing and give her the badass drink.
Yeah.
You're like,
Like, what's up with that?
yeah.
She's drinking JMO on the rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. She steers you right into it, you know. Can we
Right.
get Cosmos? You're like, okay. And then she's like, and I'll take a GMO on the rocks. Damn it.
There I go, trying to show off.
Yeah, never a good idea.
Mm.
So, Kevin, about films, did you get a chance to check out the Green Room?
I did. That was a great choice too. When you said it, I was like, I'd never heard of the Green Room, but I figured you recommended it. It's going to be solid, and I didn't even really Google it to see what it was about. So going in to watch it, I had no idea what it was about. I only saw that like Rotten Tomatoes had given it a good rating. IMDb gave it like 7 or 8 stars. And I was like, okay, it's got to be legit, but I had no idea what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
But it was awesome. It was like American History X meets Goodfellas.
Dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite of the year.
Really?
I think so, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a bold statement, you
Yeah.
know, best of the year, and that could be surpassed, but I was stoked to and one of the things I see flicks like you just mentioned the way you saw it, usually knowing nothing about it.
Right.
Only either recommendation, either I get like, hey, the director made this or whoever and I'm a fan, and then I'm like, don't tell me anything. So when something's good, it's fucking
It like takes you by surprise. You're like, oh, this is good when you're getting into it. It was weird because I turned it on and I was probably 5 or 10 minutes in, you know, the beginning when they're like in the van and they're like driving around and they're doing their thing, and I had no idea what it was about. So I actually I was like, is this gonna get going? Like, what is this movie about? Like, I started getting impatient.
Okay.
So I actually paused it and I pulled it up on Wikipedia just to read the summary of what it's about, not the actual plot, you know, because Wikipedia will tell you what the whole movie is from start to finish.
Ooh, okay.
So I only read like the first paragraph. It was like punk band gets held hostage by you know, neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, I'm like, now I'm stoked. You know, I was like,
Right.
now that sounds right up my alley. You know, I was like, this is gonna get interesting.
Yes.
And then of course it like goes from 0 to 100 real fast. You know?
Oh yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, refrain from doing too many spoilers, but it's the last. I think, well, maybe Star Trek, but Anton Yelchin, the actor who died, you know, the lead died in it. Yeah, I thought that guy was excellent,
Yeah.
and I think he's chosen good movies throughout his career for the most part. You know,
How did he? And I know we're probably gonna give some spoilers away, so people watching, if you haven't seen Green Room,
we'll give a flash.
fast forward to
or
when
yeah,
we talk about something else.
Go spoiler. Yeah.
Remind me of how he died.
Oh, in real life, how he died. He died in real life.
Oh, he
I'm
died in
sorry.
real life?
Yeah, I didn't mean.
Oh, okay.
in the flick, but in real life, he died this summer.
No kidding. How?
Getting, I think he was reported he got out of his car to get the mail, and it was no parking brake, and it slid back and smashed him.
Oh my god.
I know it's crushing, you know, but he had some great work. He's
Young guy too. I mean,
real young.
could
Yeah,
have been probably in his 30s, I would guess.
maybe even late 20s. You know, and
That's a shame.
it is a shame. But anyway,
Because so many people died in that movie that when you said that, I was like, well, I was like, had a lapse of memory. I'm like, well, did he die? The lead guy?
right.
There was like, you know, how many people were in the band? 5 or 6?
People get their asses kicked.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't 5 or 6 by the end, right?
No, it wasn't. Salute. Yeah. Yeah, Patrick Stewart playing a bad dude role. The guy owned it, you know?
Oh, yeah, he was the lead.
The lead bad dude they
Yes.
called, yes.
Darcy?
Yes.
What's his character
His
name?
character's Darcy, and he was from, you know, people knew him as the refurbished Star Trek show. Yeah.
Right,
He's Captain Picard.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, he did do a hell of a job. He was convincing as like the head neo-Nazi badass dude that like everyone like he basically had everybody like under his control, you know. It's kind of like Cameron Alexander from American History X.
Right.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like he just takes advantage of like the young impressionable kids and like they all look up to him like he's like a mob boss almost, you know. And he was more or less. It's like they were like an organized crime unit, you know.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His great line in that one was he's like, remember, it's not a party, it's a movement.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we drink and dance around to music, sure.
Yeah.
That's productive. Right.
Indeed. Yeah, you know what? And they had a little segment of some jujitsu in there.
Yes, that's right. As soon as the guy, like, they mentioned jiu-jitsu before he actually
Yes.
did any, and like bells went off. I was like, oh, Pat, that's why he picked this one. I was like, that's a good man right there. And then, of course, like as jiu-jitsu guys, we always want to see the technique. We're like, okay,
Totally.
yeah.
Yes.
We're like, okay, what moves he gonna do? Is it gonna be legit?
Mm-hmm.
Is it gonna be like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, where like you could tell he'd only done a triangle choke for like a week? Remember when he triangled?
I totally remember
Gary
when
Busey?
Mr. Joshua.
And like
in the
if you
fight.
go back and watch that, like the setup is like you can tell it's like a beginner setup, you know, and like the way he clamps it on, and you're like, okay, like it's cool to see it, but you're like, he doesn't do jujitsu,
Right.
So like you're wondering going into this one when he's talking about how he's a jujitsu guy, and you know it's gonna come out eventually, and I'm like, what technique's he gonna use? And he slaps an armbar on the guy. Spoiler. More spoilers coming. We have to talk about this. As jiu-jitsu guys, we have to talk about this.
Definitely.
So, in my mind, I'm thinking it's cool that he used jiu-jitsu, period, right? The fact that he
Yes.
slaps on an armbar to like immobilize the guy and threaten to break his arm.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, why not go rear naked choke? You know, like put the guy asleep.
Good point.
And which he ends up doing.
He did, yes,
Right.
eventually.
But it was weird how they chose armbar to keep him still. Because in real life,
That's a good point.
that's a low percentage. I mean, it's high percentage, but it's a lower percentage compared to some other holds.
He's got to hold that thing.
Right.
You know, he's got to hold that guy in place.
And there's no guarantee that when you break the arm, the guy's going to stop doing whatever he's doing. And like you saw in the movie, he did break the guy's arm, and the guy still came after him.
Right.
You know? So it's like Flannery would back this up 100%. We always talk about this. Like in a real fight, you put the guy asleep. You know, you don't even waste time on the joint unless it's the only option.
Sure.
But in a real fight, you put the guy to sleep because now he's not a threat at all, and now you can do whatever you want. You know, you tie him up, run away. You know.
Yeah. That's a very good point. You know, I was same thing. I was pleasantly surprised when they threw jiu-jitsu out there at first. You know, like you said, the bells go off, and I'm like, does this guy? All right. He better be doing jiu-jitsu and not being like, you know,
something court like Steven Seagal, like
some
like bullshit.
Right. Like, come on, dude.
But then, like, so he slaps the armbar on, and I'm analyzing the technique, and it wasn't a horrible armbar, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't. You know what? It's correct me if you saw it differently. Grant, when I saw it, I was like, dude, you could be using the crook of your elbow. But then I was like, you know what? There's good guys who shoot it just like that.
Well, his hand positioning, like you said, you can go crook of the elbow on the wrist, or he was doing I think double hand.
Yeah, he was doing
which
double
is
hand.
fine. But his feet,
body was a little low.
His feet bothered me. Like, you know, the angle of his hips wasn't great, and then he had his feet crossed, but they weren't like touching the floor. You know?
Okay,
so
okay,
there's a lot of space for the guy to get out if he knew what he was doing. Of course, which he didn't.
Right.
But it was like, it just wasn't a great arm lock. So, like, as a jiu-jitsu guy, and like, we're being anal, but that's what we do, you know.
Yeah.
It was just cool to see the jiu-jitsu period.
Yes. I mean, yeah. You know what? I was satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The rear naked choke though that he did was terrible.
It was a little high.
Well,
his hand was.
He had his hand on top of the guy's head, which you can finish it that way, but we like to go hand behind the head.
Yes.
But then he wasn't using bicep. He had it on his forearm. Did you catch that?
I did not.
So the choking arm was around the guy's neck, and instead of going bicep, he was on his own forearm.
I didn't even. Oh, all right.
Which you can finish, but it's like much weaker.
Right.
Then there's no squeeze.
Yeah.
You got to go biceps. You can pinch your elbows. When you go here, it's basically just you're kind of using your biceps, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, that's a terrible rear naked choke. And then it took him like 20 seconds to put the guy out. And I'm like, that's why. I'm like, change your grip.
Yeah. Work the technique, man. You know.
But it was still cool though.
It was. I noticed that it was riding high, and that's the first thing I thought of. And I'm like, same thing. I'm like, it works. But come on, you know.
But what's crazy is, because I used to teach privates at Hollywood BJJ before I moved back down to Orange County, and I taught a director, fairly well known, and I was teaching him private lessons, and he was talking to me about maybe getting into stunt work to show those types of moves, those type of technical details, to certain moves and fight scenes and so on. And you would think that you would at least ask somebody, like if you're going to slap a rear naked choke on somebody in a fight scene in a movie, that the director, whoever's in charge of that, would consult with someone and be like, hey, are we doing this right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times they just kind of wing it because your average Joe's not going to know the difference.
Totally.
Right? So they know what they're doing. But for guys like us, when we watch, we're like, oh, man, he could tighten that up, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? I've been on sets, and a lot of these guys just get duped. I've been on sets where there's, some kind of commando weapon thing, and you'll have some retired cop, and you're like, you get a mixed bag. Some retired cops could be great. They could have been some of them though could be like, yeah, I can make some money doing this.
Of course.
And you're like, dude, those
and just
tactics aren't any
right.
good.
Well, that's the thing with me. I don't know anything about guns, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, I was watching, what's the one with Keanu Reeves where he's like...
John Wick?
John Wick.
Yes.
So, and he knows what he's doing. He's like super well trained, like competes in those gun competitions where you're like pulling out your handgun, and then he's firing the assault rifle, and like I don't know shit about guns.
So yeah, we're saying John Wick. Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Hats off to that guy. He's like Tom Cruise as well. They learn their moves for these fights. Yeah, I mean for anything they get into. Yeah, and the like if you look at the Michael Mann film that Tom Cruise did, Collateral. Mm-hmm. Same thing. He had him training well in advance. Michael Mann's good at that. With Heat, he had the guys training well in advance and legit training. They're,
I remember I bought the Heat 20th anniversary edition or whatever it was, where he talks about that a lot. Like where Tom Sizemore and all those guys were going out to the range for like months ahead of time. I think.
Yes,
to learn the tactics. For that shootout scene.
It was great.
Yeah, one of the best. That's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing. But anyway, let's move along to fights. You're an MMA fighter. You're a commentator. What league are you fighting in right now?
Well, I fight professionally.
Yep.
I'm licensed to fight professionally in California, so that means I'm open to fight for any promotion.
Any promotion. Now, sorry, I said league. Promotion, yeah.
So the promotion I just fought for 3 weeks ago was Warriors Cage, which is a promotion in Central Cali.
Excellent.
At an Indian casino up there.
Right on.
But down in LA and in Orange County, you've got BAMA, you've got RFA,
There's U of MMA or...
Well, that's amateur.
That's amateur, okay.
But I can't think of the one I actually commentated for him, the one at Sportsman's Lodge in Studio City.
You commentated for him?
Yeah, CXF, I think it is. They're all over the place. Gladiator Challenge. I mean, there are many that you don't see on TV a lot. King of the Cage.
Yes, that's been around forever, yeah. Who are you commentating for these days?
Sparstar.
Sparstar?
Yeah, so Sparstar is a real popular, maybe even the most popular amateur show in California, at least in Southern California. Mm-hmm. When they put on a show, like all the fighters try to get on, and they'll do like 20 fights in a night. It's crazy. Yeah, so we'll start rolling at like 7 and do commentary till sometimes 12:30 in the morning.
Ah!
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Best seat in the house. When you're commentating, you're right up against the cage.
Right.
So it's much different watching the fight up close, than it is on TV or even live from a few rows back.
Yeah, I don't like being a few rows back, actually, Either I either like being my nose pressed up against the cage or
watching at a bar or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. But so Sparstar is who I commentate for, and I did do a pro commentary show a few months back too, and that was cool. So we'll see.
Nice.
I keep doing it, and
yeah,
it's a fun hobby.
I like your commentating. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so now let's move along to fights that's coming up.
Yeah.
So let's go with the stack card. UFC is 205.
Yes.
Insane in Madison Square Garden. I think it's
Yeah.
November 12th.
Yeah.
And so the big fights, the big fights are even on the prelims there.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
Frankie Edgar's fighting on the prelim.
Yeah.
Rashad Evans.
And somebody already said this on a podcast that I was listening to, but I had thought it long before. But any fight on that card could be a main event on another card.
You're right.
Literally. I mean, I think there's 12 fights or whatever it is, and every single one is worthy of a main event.
Which one are you most excited to see?
Conor and Eddie.
Conor and Eddie?
Yeah. One, because of the hype, but two, I want to see who's going to win. I'm 50-50. I can't call that one. People keep asking me who I think's going to win, and I keep going back and forth. Like when it was Dos Anjos and Conor, I was confident that Dos Anjos was going to win.
Yeah.
I just had confidence in that for a number of reasons. On this one, I can't call it.
It's this is what I'm thinking. Interject when you see something that different. The Eddie, real good hands, real good wrestler.
Right.
And however, when he fought the one, he's had some great wins, but one loss he had that was difficult for him, Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
Swatted his legs hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think because boxers tend to, he's got a little bit of a boxing vibe to him. So
Right.
he's a little bit heavy on the front leg.
Yeah.
And they pay, a lot of times. And McGregor did that to Nate Diaz the second fight, swatted his leg a lot.
Yes.
So I'm going to, looking for him to do that. And if he can get it enough, it'll be tougher for Eddie to get him in a takedown.
It could go that way.
Yeah.
I watched Conor chop away at Nate's legs. I don't know that it really did a lot of damage, though. Conor's kicks have always been more slappy, the way he throws them, than they are like traditional Thai kicks or Dutch-style kicks with a lot of power.
Okay.
I'm not saying they don't hurt, because I'm sure they do, but I don't know that it slowed Nate enough down to where it actually made a huge difference. I think his hands did the most damage there, but I could be wrong. I haven't talked to Nate about it, obviously. I don't know the guy. Maybe they hurt like hell. I don't know. But if he starts doing that to Eddie, I feel like it's going to lead to takedowns. Conor could chop away at Nate's legs because he knows Nate's not going to shoot on him. Nate just doesn't shoot on people.
Right.
He's
He
not a
does.
wrestler.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I feel like if Conor is thinking that he's going to kick Eddie, Eddie might take that as an opportunity to shoot for a single leg or
Boom,
double,
just dump him.
and get a hold of his leg and take him down. Much like he did to Pettis, push him against the cage, get him on the ground and grind him out. I think I could see it going that way for sure. A guy like Chad Mendez controlled Conor for a long period of time.
That's true.
I think Eddie could do the same thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a tough call because there's that. It's the styles right there. Will Conor be able to keep him at bay and land his moving strikes? And Eddie just put the pressure on, put him in a corner and thump him like when he does well. That's what he's doing.
Right.
Pressuring against the cage, thumping you.
Yeah.
But and also the head factor. Conor is such a celeb. He's a fucking celeb.
Yep.
So. It's like, you're going to a rock concert seeing that guy. So who
For
knows?
sure.
Eddie's like, backyard, I'll kick your fucking ass.
Yeah.
But,
Eddie's he's the real deal. That guy's been around a long time. he's been fighting professionally for, I mean,
That's right. He fought in a lot of
10 years.
organizations.
At least 10, maybe closer to 15. I'm not sure when he went pro, but it's been at least 10 years. He could knock Conor out too. Eddie's got big power in his hands, but Conor only takes one to back you up and make you think twice about coming in again.
Okay.
He lands that straight left on Eddie, and it could make Eddie tentative. And that's when Conor really smells blood and starts now chasing you down. Stalking you down and finishing you off. So if you held a gun to my head, I couldn't even pick it. I really couldn't.
Yeah, it's a tough call. So I don't know if I will either. But let's go Tyron Woodley, Wonderboy Thompson.
Yes, it's another good one.
Yes.
I'm almost as excited about that fight. I got to go Wonderboy.
Wonderboy.
Yeah. Although Woodley can knock anybody out. I mean, you saw what he did to Lawler.
Robbie Lawler. Yeah.
So, I mean, it only takes one, but I just think Thompson's he's on a different level with his striking, and he's not easy to take down. So what do you do if you can't get to him,
Yes.
It's hard to hit that guy.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And his feet are like hands, he gets that head kick up there fast.
Right.
And he puts together combos, spinning attacks. I mean, he's just a different level striker who knows how to defend wrestling. He could probably fight on the ground too. I haven't watched too many of his fights to where I recall how he was on the ground, but I'm sure he's no bum.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he beat Johnny Hendricks, and very similar fighter to Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
big power.
Big power, and they're both top-notch NCAA wrestlers, Tyron Woodley and Johnny Hendricks.
Right.
And they come in there, thump you, and
Hendricks. I feel like Hendricks. Not taking anything away from Wonderboy because he looked real good in that fight, but I think Hendricks even said something to this after the fight. I think he kind of beat himself where like he pushed Wonderboy up against the cage, and where he would normally maybe change level or look for a leg or a body lock. Wonderboy wasn't defending the way that Hendricks expected him to defend, which made Hendricks back away. If you rewatch the fight, Hendricks would get him against the cage, and then he would kind of like step back. He never like really tried to finish a takedown. It was kind of bizarre.
I'm gonna rewatch that fight.
Yeah, it was like because Wonderboy wasn't like pummeling for underhooks and doing like the normal stuff that guys do.
Yes.
He was defending in a different way. And I haven't seen the fight since it aired, so I can't really recall the specifics, but I remember Hendricks said something to that effect. That he was defending in a strange way and making him second guess his offense. But I think if Hendricks got him down, he could do damage,
Yeah.
But Wonderboy made him look amateur. The way he beat him on the feet and just basically knocked him out, like made it look easy.
It's amazing when you see a guy that good a striker, and you're like, well, wait till he meets a wrestler.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, he's still that good.
Right.
Yeah. I think I give Wonderboy the edge, but it's MMA, and Tyron Woodley is a champ for a reason. But I give Wonderboy. We're on the same part. Wonderboy the edge.
But it wouldn't surprise me if Woodley wins. You know what I mean? Like if he gets the knockout. I'll be like, oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't think Robbie Lawler was going to lose. I was like, this guy's holding the belt for a while.
Right.
And then first round, Tyron Woodley.
You know what made me think that Lawler was going to lose that fight was in the build up to the fight. They did an interview on some show. I can't remember what it was. Lawler was sitting here, Woodley was sitting here, and the guy interviewing was in the middle, and he was asking him, "How do you feel about Tyron Woodley's skill set? He's got this and he's got that." And Lawler was like, "That's all good and everything, but you still got to get in there and fight." And to me, I was like, "Well, of course. That's not like a revelation." To me, it was him admitting that he's not on the level technically that Woodley is on, and that he's gonna beat him on just pure grit.
Weidman, Yoel, Romero. What do you think?
It's another tough one.
It's insane.
You got two great wrestlers. Romero is just a beast, man. That guy.
It's like an action hero.
Yeah, that guy's just a savage, But Weidman is, before he got beat by Rockhold, he looked unbeatable.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to see more of Weidman's jiu-jitsu. I feel like his jiu-jitsu is on a high level, and we haven't really gotten to see too much of it yet. Like when he fought Silva, and when he went for a knee bar and was like real smooth, and I was thinking, man, he would have caught a lot of guys with that.
Right. Yeah.
I'd like to see more of his jiu-jitsu. Maybe we'll see some of it against Romero. Maybe he gets him down and dominates position. But Romero's such a beast, man. That's another one I'm 50-50 on. Where are you at with it?
You know what? Coming from, I grew up on Long Island. I'm gonna be pulling for Weidman right there. Yeah. It's a tough call because Romero, silver medalist, Olympic, and wrestler, and the way the guy moves, it's like he's like a video game guy. He's pouncing around. Weidman, All-American wrestler, great. And it's interesting you brought up jiu-jitsu. You ever see that YouTube video of him fighting Atos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Galbao?
Yes, Andre
In
Galbao.
like Abu Dhabi years ago.
Indeed.
And he was like, he did fine.
I think he was a damn blue belt at the time.
Right, but his defense, he had that great jiu-jitsu defense and like that wrestler base, and it was like there's nothing you could do to him.
Right.
Yeah.
And for all practical purposes, he should have been annihilated on paper. But when he was in there, and you're like, oh my God, he's hanging with
World-class black belt.
world-class black belt. On any given day, maybe that guy's the best guy in the world at that.
Right. Yeah.
And he hung with him, and that was years ago. And he's been training with Matt Sarah out of the Henzo Gracie camp, or the Sarah camp now. But
now he's on a different level even than he was back then.
Right.
His MMA jiu-jitsu is really good. Like I said, I'd like to see him try to lock up some kind of a submission, but he might try to beat him on the feet. I don't know.
Right. Might slug it out.
Yeah.
Either way, entertaining fight. I'll go Weidman on this.
Okay.
One. Yeah.
I'll be happy for whoever wins that. But didn't Romero get popped for something? He got popped for steroids or something. So it'll be interesting to see if he's clean, how he performs. Because he got popped recently, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
But moving on.
Yeah.
Because there's other fights to cover on that.
There's a plethora of fights on there. On the undercard, Rashad Evans is fighting Tim Kennedy.
Yes.
He's been off for about 2 years, Tim Kennedy. But a hard charger, veteran Green Beret who got into MMA and has done damn well at it.
Oh, yeah, that guy's a savage, too. And I've always been a fan of Rashad's. I've always liked his style.
You know what? When I became a fan of his, when I saw him, I always liked him as a fighter, but I liked him more when I saw him coach.
Yeah.
Because on the Ultimate Fighter, it's like, this guy really puts in the time to making these kids good.
Well, that's what when you come from wrestling, that's you have that family-like atmosphere in the gym, much like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You're always pulling for your teammates and for other people. You just want to see them get better,
Right.
So when you get that opportunity to coach young, impressionable guys and you have so much to show them, a lot of these guys jump at the opportunity, and I've always liked Rashad's style, putting together like real nice head movement, sharp hands with the wrestling. Yes. He's also a black belt. He was given a black belt in the gi, even though he probably hardly ever trained in the gi, but he obviously knows what he's doing on the ground, even though we don't see it very often.
Right. He's still with the Black Zillions camp, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Or something happened with them. I don't know if they're still around.
Okay.
Again, for being a fighter and commentating and stuff, I still don't know like as much as some of these other guys.
Yeah, I know the camp. The camp's still moving. I don't know if he's still a part. I think
he might be. I think so. If I had to guess, I'd say he was. I want to see the Khabib Nurmagomedov Michael Johnson.
Oh my God.
That's going to be crazy. Because Michael Johnson's not easy to take down, and Khabib's main thing is wrestling. He's throwing people all around the cage, but he hasn't fought in a couple of years. So, or no, he did fight a guy, but the guy was like a late replacement.
Khabib has a win over Dos Anjos. Mm-hmm. That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
he was almost undefeated. It was like 20-something and like 1.
Right.
So the guy. They say some people think he's the number one the number one lightweight at 55. Some people regard him as the best.
That's a very valid argument.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Johnson's sick. I like watching that kid fight. He's real good. I guess he lost to Nate Diaz, a little heady. I guess.
Yeah, Nate fought real well that fight. Though.
He did. He fought real well. And it'd be tough to beat Khabib though.
But Johnson's coming off a real impressive win over Dustin Poirier too.
Oh,
he knocked him out quick.
Yeah.
Dustin's very tough.
Yeah.
And make short work of him. So
interesting.
I'm probably going to go with Khabib on that. But I feel like if Johnson can avoid the takedown, he could probably pick him apart on the feet.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Wouldn't surprise me either way. It's MMA. I mean, anything can change. They're right angles, or 180-degree turns at any given moment.
That's why I don't bet. That's why I don't gamble MMA.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yep.
And then who else we got? We got the
Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar's fighting.
Mm-hmm.
He's on an undercard, which is unbelievable.
I know. Well, he didn't have a great performance in his last fight versus who did he just lose to?
Jude.
He lost a decision.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm lost on this one right now.
I can pull it up here.
Yeah, pull it up.
He's fighting Jeremy Stevens though.
Jeremy Stevens just lost one to he lost to Donald Cerrone.
Jose Aldo.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stevens just lost too.
He did to Donald Cerrone, I believe.
Actually, he's coming off a win of Renan Barão. Prior to that, he lost a decision to Max Holloway.
Okay, I got my Jeremy's mixed up. Yeah.
But anyway, that's a good fight. Edgar versus Stevens.
I'm gonna go with Edgar on that.
I think he's gonna try to probably get him down because Jeremy's real good on. He's tough on the feet. You know, he's one of the only. I think he's the only guy in the UFC to finish Nate Diaz. He TKO'd Nate Diaz.
He TKO'd Nate Diaz?
Yeah, and no one's done that.
No.
Even Dos Anjos couldn't do it.
Right. I didn't think Nate Diaz ever got TKO'd.
So it was with a head kick. He put him down and finished him with ground and pound, and the ref jumped in.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore.
So if he hits you, it could be all she wrote. So that's going to be an interesting fight.
Most definitely. So yeah, that is a solid lineup. And then we brought up Rafael Dos Anjos a few times in this. He's not even on the card, but he is doing a fight night in 95 against Tony Ferguson.
Yes, and my buddy Benny Dariush is on that card too.
Okay.
They're both fighting on the same card in Mexico. It's in Mexico, right?
Yes, it is.
But man, I've trained with Dos Anjos, and I've trained with Tony Ferguson.
Okay.
More with I did a little stand up with Tony, but I've done a lot of groundwork with Dos Anjos. I'll be pulling for him, because I'm a fan of his, and he's a great dude.
Where did you train with him?
With RDA?
Yes.
At Gracie Barra headquarters in Irvine.
Uh-huh.
So the guy who runs that school, Felipe de la Monica, helps a lot of MMA fighters with their ground. So they go to him after hours. And I was lucky enough that I was friends with Benny, that he asked me if I wanted to come in and train with those guys. So at one point on the mat, this is crazy. At one point on the mat, it was me, Benny Dariush, Dos Anjos, Shogun, Jake Shields, Felipe de la Monica, who runs the place, and one other giant Brazilian guy, I can't remember his name, but all world-class guys.
Right.
And then me, and they just like a hobbyist brown belt, I was an amateur fighter at that point. I hadn't even gone pro, but great workouts,
I imagine it was great.
Oh yeah, it was awesome training. You can't. It's like the best room you could be in. It's really hard to structure like a better room than that. You know what I mean? Like that much talent in one spot. But I trained with Ferguson too. He used to come into our school at Classic Fight Team, which is where I train now. Mm-hmm. He used to come in, and I've only did a little bit of stand up with him, but I'll be pulling for Dos Anjos. I'm a big fan of his. And
huge fan of his.
Tony won't submit him.
Okay.
Dos Anjos is very tough to catch.
He's got a great dart, but yeah, Dos Anjos has been a black belt for years. He's
seen all that. Yeah, He's very hard to catch. The guy doesn't get tired, and even when he is tired, he moves like he's not tired. And
his legs are great. His leg kicks.
Yeah, and he's got a real good chin. I think he'll outstrike Ferguson. Is my guess.
That's that's a big thing to say because Ferguson's hands, I think, are great.
Oh yeah, Ferguson is a world-class talent.
Sure, Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos. You know what? I think I'd give him the edge too. Yeah. Leg kicks. Yeah. So we got our picks for the final or lack thereof picks.
Right.
But
some feedback at least.
Some feedback.
I'm not willing to commit to a lot of the winners, but
it's a tough call.
It's gonna be a great card either way. I'm stoked. I can't wait for it.
Most definitely. So closing statements. Do anything you want to say about either a cocktail film or fight? How'd you like the great?
It was awesome, man. Thanks for having me. It's been too long since we hung out, man. I gotta come up more often, train together.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah,
train or go out and have some drinks, get the old guys together again. Johnny and all those guys, Andy.
All about it.
For anybody watching at home, you can follow me on Instagram at KevinWBJJ. Some fight clips. I post some funny stuff.
Yeah.
I used to do stand up, so like I still incorporate some comedy in my
I noticed. Right? Yeah. I saw today the Trumpty dance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, little nuggets,
Right.
That I just try to squeeze in there, but no, man, I appreciate you having me up, man, and good luck with everything, man.
Anytime, my man. Anytime. So we'll see you all later. Cocktails, films, and fights. Patrick Millerg and Kevin Widdoes.